Hey y'all, it's Nomadic Shaman here. Thank you for visiting my page. Today's video, I want to share a dream that I had earlier in the week. I sat on it for a couple of days before I was given the green light by my spiritual team. So I'm going to get into the breakdown of that in just a bit. But before I start, I did want to circle back when I was sharing my gang stalking story, one of the things that Spirit had reminded me of was on top of everything that they've done, currently doing, and will do in the near future. One of these things, one of the ways or the escaping mechanisms that these folks think that they can outrun or escape any type of karma or accountability and responsibility is these fake death plots. Okay, like they are running and faking their death down to the T of a mock funeral, but yet once they kill that personality or that identity and they recreate or create a new one, they're still on to the same bullshit. So then they find themselves in legal trouble under a new or different identity where they've tried to escape a previous identity, right? One thing Spirit shared with me is fake deaths, new births, they still got the same old demons. Okay, same old demons, which will drive them to do the very same thing, of what they were doing then and how they find themselves in this clusterfuck. All right, so one can go ahead and create as many identities as they want, as many mock deaths as they want, thinking that they will escape out of their accountability and responsibility for their previous crimes. But I'm here to tell you it will eventually catch up to you. I don't know why, but I'm hearing four. So there's someone who legit killed themselves on paper 4 times, y'all, and still running around, running amok. Okay, but anyways, I just want to say that one there, so I'll leave it there. Now, moving on to my dream breakdown. The word of the day is going to be evangelist. Now, you would think, since I grew up Catholic a good portion of my life, I would know that word or that definition. Well, your girl had to look it up. And so I'm going to share with you what I found. Evangelist means good news, gospel, someone who shares moral advice and spiritual encouragement. So Spirit had given me that word evangelist after I got this dream. And so the dream, in short, it was actually very disturbing, actually, guys. The dream that I had, I was like in a dark place as an observer of what was going on. And it seemed to be fire was all over me. I saw what seemed to be men in hoods, black hoods, with like a skeleton looking face. Okay. I was seeing large ass swords engulfed in flames. And I was seeing like huge, big presence. Okay. And I'm talking about, I felt like I was on a battlefield. Okay. Observing a war that was going on in the midst of the battlefield. Whole bunch of fire was taking place. There were bodies on bodies on bodies engulfed in flames. There were bodies that were lying lifeless. Okay. And there would be these huge figures. One figure in particular was a skeleton looking face with a black hood over these bodies. Okay. In addition to that, what felt like a deploy of a whole bunch of deploy of like Avenger angels. That's what I want to say. who was they were carrying this sword engulfed in flames, like literally like slicing and dicing, decapitating bodies. Heads were rolling as I kept on seeing this vision of a black cloak, a skeleton looking face going around these different bodies. Now, to add to that, there was like this huge presence because all of a sudden there was somebody that was coming into my direction. Even though I was an observer, all of a sudden this huge presence jumps in between me and the person that was coming towards me, stabbed them. Y'all, I kid you not. Stabbed them with the sword, the flaming sword, okay? And then took the sword out and decapitated the body, okay? So then I'm looking because I'm thinking, okay, I'm an observer. I literally was walking through this and I'm like an observer, and it was like no one was paying attention to me as I was witnessing it, with the exception of the one that was coming towards my way. And the intervention that happened was this huge presence. I'm looking up and the presence is tall as fuck and is very demanding. And I said, "Who are you?" And this figure revealed themselves to me, took off their cloak, the top part of their cloak. And what I saw was legit. I saw the sword engulfed in flames, y'all. But what I saw was a head that was like a spear that was in like a blue and golden light. And all I saw was a whole bunch of eyes within that spear. And I heard Archangel Michael. Now, I'm getting chills, y'all. So then I woke up. I woke up and went to the internet. I immediately went to Googling, okay? Because I'm like, I said, why he revealed to me a huge ass sword engulfed in flames, okay? And this was after he decapitated somebody, okay? And then, but before I get into that, after he said that to me, I'm looking in the background and I'm seeing other cloaked individuals who were angels, who had swords that were flaming. So then that's what propelled me to go online and find out, what does that mean, y'all? What does the flaming sword mean, y'all? I already know what my Archangel Michael stands for. But what the hell does the flaming swords mean? So I had to look it up, y'all. So one other thing is, during the dream, I also heard like a very high pitched sound, okay? A high pitched sound. And I heard that the high-pitched sound signified people in distress and angels coming into the rescue, okay? And that people who were in distress were, like it was like an alarm that was going off, okay? And then all of these different angels Avenger angels had been deployed with flaming swords. So let me get to the definition, okay? So anyways, I realized right then and there that I was in the midst of experiencing a spiritual battle that was taking place. But it wasn't so much just me, it also signified all of the elect ones, all of the divine beings, all of the chosen ones, and all of the innocent, okay, in midst of a spiritual battle. and it was Archangel Michael who had came with his whole fleet, his whole posse of angels, literally decapitating in the spirit. Okay. So when I say decapitating, I'm talking about enemies, dark forces. And I had later realized that that black cloak with the skeleton had resembled the angel of death. Okay. Grim Reaper, angel of death, because he was literally moving from bodies to bodies of the recently decapitated bodies. Okay. So then I'm looking up online. I'm trying to figure out, well, what is this? So, okay. I read the flaming sword stands for enforcing justice and maintaining order and divine authority and protection. Okay. The other part that I read on about the flaming sword was it was a divine instrument of justice, a barrier between humanity and paradise. The flaming sword served as a reminder of the consequence of disobedience and the power of divine will. It was a symbol of, and is a symbol of the Most High's authority, a fiery warning to those who dare to defy divine order. Okay. The flaming sword also stood for forces of good. Fire has the power to destroy, the power to purify and renew. And the flaming sword embodies this duality, okay, serving as a reminder of the delicate balance between creation and destruction, of order and chaos. Okay, and the flaming sword stands as a beacon of justice and truth. So, what I got out of that is in midst of the spiritual battle that has been ensuing, especially against the dark forces, the enemies, demons, however you want to categorize that, opposing elect ones, chosen ones, divine beings, and the innocent, that Archangel is all up in this bitch and has taken his fleet of angels, and I literally saw heads rolling and decapitation up in this bitch. I saw bodies that were lit on fire, and I saw the Grim Reaper, angel of death, visiting piles of bodies, y'all. So, justice is coming. That's what I got. Okay. So be patient. It is here whenever you see things, or when I see things, whenever I see things in the spirit, they come to pass, y'all. So I just wanted to send you those words of encouragement. Be patient. These motherfuckers don't see it coming. And with that, I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.